So normally it's Naki that starts the show with the story, but I saw something so dumb yesterday. I felt that I should start the show with my story because it's a tale of how people are going to blow themselves up because they're fucking morons.
Also, change is scary.
Yeah, well, that's true too. So I needed to get gas yesterday because I had 30 cents off a gallon of Kroger points expiring, and yesterday was the 31st. It was the last day I could use them. So everyone and their brothers at Kroger, of course, it never fails. So I get up there, and there's a car. The car pulls right in front of me to steal the one gas pump that was open, and I cuss a little bit because it pissed me off. And then they sit in the car for like 3 minutes, and all the other pumps are busy, so I'm just waiting in line. And they sit in there, and they get out of the car with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth and their cell phone up to their ear, and they walk up to the cashier's box and go up there for another 5 minutes. Then she promptly comes back, cigarette still hanging in her mouth, cell phone in her ear, and starts pumping gas. I'm like, this bitch gonna blow us up. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, if you're the guy that runs the Kroger gas station, you're the cashier, you should probably be like, hey, you aren't supposed to talk on your phone or smoke when you're pumping gas into your car. And
that is the epitome of dumb.
Yeah, that wasn't said. So then I wanted to try and sneak into the pump in front of her because it opened up, but then there was 2 cars kind of parked that were blocking that in a little bit because one of the guys had stopped to get gas and his battery had died, so they were sitting there jumping it. So I'm like, huh. Knowing my luck, there's going to be a random spark that comes up off this battery they're trying to jump. It's going to blow me up, or it's going to be this dumb bitch smoking her cigarette, talking on the cell phone, pumping gas that's going to blow me up. It's a bad combination, guys. I thought I was going to die.
And we're all happy that you did it.
You're happy that I didn't because then you would have to host.
Yes, obviously. You don't understand the epitome of my laziness.
Well, maybe we should make this Naki host this show then.
Go Naki!
I kid. I wouldn't.
Thank you.
Naki edition.
I am not Blind Toss Papa. Let's put it that way. So looking in the chat room, we do have the Adahy, one of the original hosts of the show, is joining us this morning. He's like, psh, I had $1 off a gallon and called me a noob. And for those that had missed it, in the pre-show, he did threaten to cut me in the chat room.
Yeah.
I think it was the first thing he said in the chat room was that he was going to cut you because
Yeah.
the show was.
The show was late. And then
Sorry.
Stargate Pioneer, I see in the chat room also. He goes, everyone's out to get you, Chris. And then he goes, it sounds like Wing's girlfriend. And I'm not. I'm guessing he's referring to the smoking and being on the cell phone and pumping gas thing to try and blow people up. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I mean, I heard that was a rumor, but first off, you need to explain something to me. Does West Virginia allow smoking inside?
No. They
So-
used to in some of the bars and stuff, but I know at least in my town/city, they passed a city ordinance saying you couldn't even smoke in bars anymore.
So when is your cashier box outside? You have to understand.
Yeah, it's this whole Kroger gas station is an outdoor thing away from the grocery store, and they have a cashier box outside. They have literally like almost a hut that has bulletproof glass, a sliding tray drawer, and then they sell cigarettes in there, and anyone that wants to pay cash for gas pays there.
Oh.
See, they're just tempting people. Why should they sell cigarettes right there next to the gas pumps? They're telling people to smoke next to the gas pumps.
All right, so some context here. Where I live in West Virginia, if you're not familiar, West Virginia, the state, I'm going to try and hold it up so it looks right on camera. It looks like this, the middle finger. I shit you not. If you look at West Virginia, it looks like that. And where I live is right here. Pennsylvania is right here. Pennsylvania's cigarette prices are about 1.5 to 2 times as much. So a lot of people
Holy shit.
come to West Virginia from Pennsylvania to buy their smokes.
Nice.
So that's why it's such a big deal that the grocery stores and the gas stations and stuff carry them, because they make bank off of out-of-towners coming in, especially on like football weekends or at big events that bring people into town.
Now that okay, so the cashier box thing makes sense. We don't have those anymore. I was like, what are you talking about? Because like you have to actually, for our gas stations, you have to physically like go inside. So that's why I was like, how did she come out with a lit cigarette still?
Well, there's just fucking morons in all around. I mean, I live in a college town, so I figured it was a dumb college student, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because if that was a college student, they're pretty damn old and rough looking.
Hey,
There's
as
some
an
old looking college students.
As
Yeah.
an old college student, shut the fuck up.
No, you don't look like you're about 45,
Yay.
so there's that.
Well, no, she hasn't been on camera in like a couple months. We don't know.
So I'm looking in the chat room. Adahy said we aren't that lucky when I was talking about myself getting blown up. But then Stargate Pioneer has asked me, do I need a passport to drive into West Virginia from the rest of the United States? Well, no, you don't. And then he asks
You need
Cabela's.
one to get back out, though.
Exactly. He says Cabela's is up on the finger part, and for context, Cabela's is right about here. One of the big Cabela's in the finger part. It's in Wheeling.
I guess
West
that's better than the whole Michigan mitt thing, or however the hell their hand points up. If you're just a middle finger, that's cooler.
It very well could be. So let's see. A couple more comments in the chat room, then we'll start with the show. Adahy says, G Plus looks a lot nicer than it used to. And then Stargate Pioneers asks, is that because Naki isn't on camera? I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to let Naki respond to that one.
Now I'm sad inside.
Don't be sad. Now it's your turn to threaten to cut a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, he's setting you up to threaten people.
It's true. I mean, I'll totally cut Stargate Pioneer. He doesn't live that far from me, just a few states over. I'll find him.
You're gonna hunt him down and cut him.
It's true.
You heard it here at about the 5-minute and 45-second mark of this week's episode.
Bitch don't get cut.
Is going to cut him.
It's true. Y'all don't live that far from me. And I have a car.
It's like 10 hours from Chicago to where I live.
Yeah.
That's doable.
It's 8 hours from Chicago to Toronto. So.
That's true.
You're angry enough, you can drive 10 hours straight.
It's true.
If not, just be like that angry astronaut and wear adult diapers so you don't have to stop.
Ew.
I
No,
still can't believe that crazy bitch.
I can't either. I really can't either. So, let's start rolling into the actual show here. We've started off with our 6.5 minutes of random bullshit, but welcome everyone to episode 144 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on February 1st, 2015. It is Super Bowl Sunday, people, and I'm allowed to say it because it's not against the law to say the term Super Bowl. If you don't believe me, go to Ars Technica and read the article there. It's good times.
Superb Owls.
I tell him, bring on the fucking, bring on the cease and desist letter. Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, I'm going to screw all of you and just say Superb Owls for the rest
Superb
of it.
Owls.
I enjoy the Superb Owls.
I enjoy the commercials, and then we have gotten some previews of some of the commercials, and they did look pretty good.
I don't care.
I didn't watch any. I'm waiting to actually watch them on the Super Bowl.
Well, The Rock said there's a Fast and Furious 7 trailer that's going to premiere tonight. I know there's going to be an Age of Ultron teaser of some kind, probably just a 30-second TV spot. Snickers is doing Danny Trejo in the Brady Bunch commercials that look hilarious, because I saw one
I've
of them.
seen the pictures of those, yeah, that have been flying all over Facebook.
Did you guys know that Machete is part of the Spy Kids universe? Because I found that out, and that...
Correct.
Yeah, he's their uncle and babysitter.
Yep, I was like, huh.
Yeah,
I did not know
basically,
that.
anything that Robert Rodriguez is in, except I think the first Sin City movie is the only thing that Danny Trejo didn't eventually show up in. Other
Was he
than
in the
that,
second Sin City movie?
no, because I don't think Robert Rodriguez had much to do with it.
Oh.
Or did he direct the second one? I'm not sure. But no, I don't think he's in the Sin Cities, but pretty much everything else Robert Rodriguez has done, for Danny Trejo's in there somewhere.
I'm okay
He
with
loves
it.
that guy.
Man,
Danny
I loved
Trejo's
it. He was great in Breaking Bad.
He was.
Oh yeah, El Tortuga. Wasn't that it, the tortoise? El
Yes,
Tortuga?
and the way they took out the tortoise was fantastic also.
was
I'm not going to
fucking
spoil it.
awesome. Yeah, that might be his best death on camera.
When does Better Call Saul start? Is that this week?
Next week, I think. Next week.
I have to get my DVR ready.
I've got to set up the season pass on it, too. I've watched the trailers. It looks really good. I cannot wait.
I think the only thing I'm excited for on that is Mike. I love the actor that played Mike.
Yeah, I love Mike.
It's just going to be a good period.
Well, I mean, Breaking Bad was just so well done, you know?
Don't spoil me. I still haven't finished it.
How have you still not finished
I
it?
just haven't. And here's the kicker. I haven't been spoiled yet. I don't know anything that happens after where I left off, and I'm intrigued.
Holy shit! I want to spoil it. Right
You
now.
know how hard it has been. Anytime
No
I see the words
shit.
Breaking Bad in an article, I'm like, well, skip a little bit, skip a little bit.
Skip it. Dude, you got to get on that shit. Someone's
I
gonna ruin it
know,
for you.
you
It's
gotta
on the
finish
list.
it.
Oh man, so it
How
should
far-
be the top of the fucking list. You should be watching Breaking Bad episodes before you're watching new episodes of Arrow and The Flash.
No, fuck that.
You
I gotta
need
talk
to
about
watch
Arrow
that
and
shit.
podcasts. I can't skip watching Arrow.
We already know you lie about shows that you fucking say you watched and didn't. So go watch Breaking Bad and then
Hey.
lie about The Flash.
We don't share that on public consumption, all right?
Oh, there's only
Wait,
like 4 people watching anyways.
Anyways,
But
how far are you? Wait, real question. How far are you in Breaking Bad? How much do you have left to finish?
Season 3 finale.
Jesus, what? What?
Wait, how many seasons are there?
There's
Oh,
5.
shit! Oh, shit!
Oh, fuck. Oh, damn, we're all dead now. Adahy's here.
How's it going, guys?
Yeah! Adahy's back.
I was kind of hoping that would happen. Long time. Well, people that are new to the show, you might not remember. The Adahy, one of the original hosts, he's back today. I gave him a random invite in the chat room. What
Hiya,
up,
Adahy. Do you have a
Yeah.
tiny Adahy in your arms?
I do. This is baby Sky.
It's so tiny.
Yeah. We were up because she said feed me, and I'm like, no, we'll see. I'll see how the show's going. And then she conked out on us. So
That's good timing.
Hi, tiny Adahy.
If
who
you
is
remember,
currently sleeping.
Stephen John Drew used to let his infant son listen to the show, and we put it to sleep on a regular basis too.
that says a lot about
It's a gift.
it says a lot about how awesome the show is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we almost had Nokia on camera, too, for a second.
So how have things been going since we last talked to you, Adahy?
I work a lot and I sleep very little.
So it's about the same.
Well, I was going to say, if anything, that's just going to get worse now.
Yeah, it's not too bad right now. She's only she's 8 days old as of today.
Nice.
But yeah, right now she just sleeps all the time, so it's not too bad.
It's the waking up thing that's going to be miserable, I imagine.
Yeah, that gets to you.
We'll send you some caffeine pills or something.
No dose, mini
I had
thins.
a guy give me like a $100 Starbucks gift card at our baby shower. He's like, "You'll need this."
Oh, no doubt.
Nice.
Nice.
Start drinking that hot buttered coffee. It's good for you.
No.
Just get you some Surge. They sell that on Amazon now.
Yeah, one of the guys I work with orders it by the case like all the time.
Ugh. I was joking when I said that. That stuff is
I
makes my
tried it.
teeth hurt.
Like, even as a teenager, I tried it once, and I was like, ow, this is gross. Ew.
It's not that bad.
Shut up,
No,
Anthony. You like everything.
Better,
It's
it's
pretty
better
awful.
than Jolt. It's better than Jolt.
It's not better than balls.
You
Well,
just
you
like
your
drinking
balls out of
Yeah,
it.
you just wanted to say balls.
I did, it was a good segue to say balls. So
He hasn't missed a beat. He's been gone for almost a year, and he hasn't missed a damn beat.
Of
I
course
do what I
not.
can.
Balls are the way to go, man. Balls
I
for
do what I
everything.
can.
Oh,
I don't know if I want balls in a can or if I want balls in a bottle.
I go with balls in the bottle.
I don't even know how to respond. How about balls and a bottle?
I feel like that is a dangerous combination.
It probably is. It's a good way to end up with one of these. Thanks, Adahy.
Yeah, we know Naki's thoughts on children, so
Tiny
As-
Hitlers.
As somebody who works with children, yeah, it's great. I love children. They're my favorite. Oh, by the way, I cut out my uterus with a piece of metal that I found lying on the side of the road.
Should
awesome.
use a spoon.
I'm gonna cut that out for the new show intro, I think.
Yay!
Nice.
If I remember. So, you want to hang out with us? You want to hang out with us for a little bit, Adahy?
I can. I got some time.
Because we're just gonna roll into our old typical stuff. Let's go into the news of the week.
News of the week.
Sweet.
And I'm gonna go first because since I host the show, it's my prerogative to do that.
That's a first. Usually you make me go first.
Okay, Naki, you can go first then.
Damn it, that's not what I was meaning.
What do you got for us, Naki?
The terrible Fantastic Four trailer that came out this week.
It's not terrible.
It's pretty terrible.
It's not terrible.
No, it's terrible.
For
I will
once, I'm
put
gonna
it
agree with
this way.
Naki.
It's vastly
Oh.
underwhelming, I say.
Wow, Adahy agreed with me. This is the first time in the almost 3 years that we've done this show.
That's because he's the kinder, gentler Adahy now.
Not really.
It's because there's a child on his arm.
That's possible.
Now only cuts bitches while the baby's sleeping.
Touche. So, what are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four trailer then, Naki? Start us off on this.
In the kinder, gentler way, it's terrible.
Ooh.
It's okay. So the whole thing starts off with a bunch of like science fiction flashes, and then you get to see like a little clip of this person, a little clip of this person, a little clip of this person, and then you see a little bit of fire, and you see the Thing kind of come to life, and then you see Fantastic Four this summer, blah blah blah, and that's it.
No, it's Fanta 4 Tastic, I think.
You just wanted to say ass-tastic. Who doesn't want to say ass-tastic? It's pretty ass-tastic. I was really, like, I'm excited because of who they have cast. But
Actually, with the chick they have in it versus Jessica Alba, it's not ass-tastic. The original two FF movies were ass-tastic because they had Jessica Alba in a skin-tight outfit. That's ass-tastic.
But anytime Jessica Alba touches a comic book franchise, nothing good happens.
Sin City 1 was awesome.
I liked it to a point. I thought her story was the weakest story out of them, though.
Callahan and Nancy are awesome. They were
in the
fucking
book.
Great.
In the book.
They were great in the movie.
Meh.
So look
You're
at
just
the
full
chat
of
room.
hate.
Look at the chat room right now. Wayne thinks we're crazy. He says it's amazing. He said something similar on the Gonna Geek podcast when we recorded on Tuesday. I was pretty underwhelmed, and I think JS brought up a good point. He goes, when you have to try and sell audiences on your movie that no one's going to care about by saying, hey, don't forget we made X-Men also.
Yeah. Like, one of the comments that I had on Facebook from a friend of mine I know him as Red Star, he said that they're trying to ride the Interstellar way with this trailer, and I completely agree with him. Like, it's totally just like, hey, Interstellar came out a few months ago, and that was really cool, so this is kind of like Interstellar, but nothing really like it, but here's some sci-fi stuff.
It's Interstellar, it's got it's got touches of Star Trek in it, it seemed like. From my perspective, it's a teaser. It did its job in that regard, as it teased me with what's coming. I'm a little more intrigued than I was before, but it's not a great trailer. It's different, and it has a weird tone to it. Wing brings up a good point in the chat room. He said, for once they make something that looks different. Let's face it, all the Marvel movies look the same. Time for some changes, so keep an open mind. I got an open mind, but it's really
not a Marvel movie.
Yeah, there's that, but it's also really hard to forget all of the news that's leaked out about how shitty this is.
Well, and that's why I think I really liked the trailer, was since from the casting of Michael B. Jordan until now, every other piece of information that they've sent out, I thought was a reason to not see the movie. Other than Michael B. Jordan's casting in this trailer, those are the only two things that make me actually want to see it.
Other than the fact that you have to watch it because that's your trend.
I have to, but still. I like the trailer. I thought it looked good. The only thing I'm not buying is Miles Teller is the smartest man on the planet. And every movie I've seen him in, he plays the big dumb friend, and he still looks like the big dumb friend to me. I don't know. They better have him spewing some really good scientific shit to make me believe he's Reed Richards.
Have you had a chance to see it, Adahy? You said you agreed with Naki, so I'm assuming.
I have seen it, and like you said, it is a teaser. It gives you a good tease of vomit in your mouth. I do what I can. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty awful. I don't know. Granted, I'm not the biggest fan of the Fantastic Four either. I love Reed Richards, but I hate everyone else. Because I also am the smartest man on the planet.
I forgot all of these things.
It's a co-title. me and Reed Richards, and we like to hold it over Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. But I just can't get interested in that movie at all. Granted, I can't wait for Deadpool, but my life's there. Maybe that's all I care about. Maybe that's what it is.
I mean, Deadpool is coming. We're gonna have to get you to come back after Deadpool, I think.
I'll try.
For sure.
The Adahy official review.
I'll try.
Did anyone else? We talked about it on a different podcast. I'm gonna Geek Cast we brought up. Did anyone catch the Easter egg that's in this trailer?
I think so.
No.
If you remember, there's that scene where Kate Mara is looking at a computer screen with a map on it or whatnot. If you look, there's a little IP address in that. It's 23.211.190.125. And if you put that into your browser, it'll randomize. You'll either get a Wikipedia entry, a Comic Vine page, or a Marvel Wiki for Latveria.
Nice.
So I thought that was a cool little Easter egg that they're saying that Latveria will exist in some way, shape, or form.
I'm going to be highly disappointed if Dr. Doom is a blogger from Latveria, though.
That's what they've
If
said.
that rumor is true, that's going to be the saddest fucking thing ever.
I agree. So let me go back to the chat room real quick.
Yeah, Wayne's going nuts on us.
Yeah, Wicked said, like, Marvel does not put a giant Marvel logo in their trailer to say, hey, we made Avengers. They do.
No,
but
they put a
don't
giant
say,
Marvel
hey, we made
logo to
Avengers.
say, hey, we still own this franchise. This one's ours.
Well, that brings him to his next point. He goes, do you think Marvel could have sent those rumors out to get the rights back? And for those that don't recall, the rumors are basically that the FF movie sucks ass.
Pretty much. I don't know if Marvel would actually go so far as to have anybody working for them spread rumors. I don't think they need to, because they're still sitting on their pile of Avengers money. And even if they didn't have that pile of Avengers money, they now have Disney money. I don't think they really care whether or not it does well for Fox, other than the fact that it is their characters. But I don't think they would try to undermine them in a way to get them back, other than what they're doing by canceling the books.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. I don't think they're doing that much. Who knows?
Sorry,
Cool.
the Fantastic Four books haven't been that good anyways.
Well,
So,
there's a reason they canceled it.
yeah.
The Jedi Ross is in the chat room, actually. He goes, I cannot believe I'm catching the return of the Adahy. You're blowing minds, Adahy.
It's a spectacle.
Sorry, I'm not asleep.
Give us about 10, 15 more minutes, and we will probably put you to sleep. It's a gift.
I usually turn this on to go to sleep. Actually,
Well, I'm glad we can help.
We're very helpful.
it's probably
Honored?
the most boring show on the internet.
We should change that to our tagline, the most boring show on the internet.
The most boring show on the internet. I don't know. There's probably a couple shows out there that would fight us for that one.
What was I watching? I was watching PewDiePie for whatever reason.
PewDiePie.
Sorry.
Yeah, and there was one episode that I've never seen, and I never thought PewDiePie would actually put me to sleep, but I wound up falling asleep to it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What the fuck is a PewDiePie?
Dude who makes more money than all of us combined and does absolutely nothing and is completely a waste of time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
South Park absolutely pegged him perfectly when they did their PewDiePie and Cartman Bra episodes.
Yeah, those episodes were great.
Yes.
Cartman Bra?
Cartman Bra! So, one last thing on Fantastic Four, and I'll toss to myself, I guess, for news then. Wing has said, please don't tell me the Ant-Man trailer was better than Fantastic Four. Thoughts?
Ant-Man at least gave you an idea as to what you're going to see.
I thought they were both average at best.
I think the FF trailer was way better than the Ant-Man trailer.
I mean, I can
I've
see
seen-
why, but
As a teaser, it worked better. It's going to make people that are especially not huge comic fans more interested in seeing what they're going to do with those characters
Yeah,
compared to what they did with Ant-Man. That trailer didn't make you interested to see what Paul Rudd's going to do with that character.
that's because
See-
I think the trailer was poorly edited.
I think Ant-Man actually was the better trailer, in a sense that not that it was good by any means, but in the sense that it's actually gave you an instinct as to what they're going to do. Like you knew that it was going to be a superhero movie. They didn't try to mislead you into thinking it's a science fiction movie.
But I don't think Josh Trank directed a superhero movie. I think what he's directed is a sci-fi movie that just happens to have people with powers in it, just like Chronicle.
So I was going to say,
If
so
you
he's
hasn't
just
seen Chronicle,
making Chronicle.
Chronicle's, I mean, it's a movie with kids with telekinesis, but it wasn't a movie about superheroes or people with superpowers. It was a science fiction film that just happened to have people with superpowers.
So
And I
he's
think
remaking
why-
Chronicle, which doesn't work for Fantastic Four.
Well, we'll see. It might.
I never saw Chronicle. I don't know anything.
Yeah,
I
you
actually-
should go watch
I-
Chronicle.
I actually
It's
just saw it.
fucking amazing.
I just saw it. I liked it, but it's not Fantastic Four.
I
don't
know
want that to
Wing.
be Fantastic Four.
I know Wing absolutely loves Chronicle, and I'm sure that's what he's writing in here. Actually, no, he's writing. He's writing.
Chronicle's off.
Wing is writing us the formula for how Marvel teaser trailers work. He goes, Marvel teaser formula: deep voiceover, sad music, side character, vista shots, mini tease of the hero, last joke before the credits.
That's fairly accurate.
He's
pretty
pretty much
close.
spot on.
I mean, he's not wrong, but at least those give you some more as to what you're going to see. I don't know, like the Fantastic Four trailer, I think, just pissed me off because I really want Fantastic Four to be good because I want a good Fantastic Four movie.
That's
But-
such a thing will never exist.
Exactly.
There were already 2 good Fantastic Four movies. I don't know what you people are talking about.
Oh dear God, Anthony.
What is wrong with you?
Chris Evans as the Human Torch is amazing.
No, Chris Evans as Captain America is amazing.
Chris Evans as the Human Torch was good, and Ben Grimm was great, but the rest of it was pretty awful.
Chiklis was awesome, but the way they did Ben Grimm on film was terrible.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
the scripts weren't great. There was problems with the scripts, but Chris Evans and Chiklis
it's called they were
both
written. That was
fantastic.
the problem.
Hey, at least their Doom was running around kicking ass. He's not a fucking blogger.
yeah, if they make him a blogger, I'm done. Like I will walk out of the theater.
Just to point this out, we have podcasters complaining about bloggers.
Bring on the internet hate.
Meta, we are as meta as they come.
We do need some internet hate, but let's shift off this topic because I'm sure we keep arguing it for a while. Let's talk. It's still Marvel, but it's also Lego, and it's something incredibly badass. And it's going to make me spend boatloads of money. I don't know if you guys saw it, but earlier this week, Marvel and Lego announced that they are doing the SHIELD Helicarrier Lego set. I shit you not.
$350.
pieces.
$350.
$350, 2,996 pieces. You get 2 Quinjets with it. It looks badass.
It should be bigger. It's too small.
It's huge. It's ginormous. What are you talking about?
It should be flag helicarrier sized.
See, I wish I could still like get my hands on like a good like Death Star, the old Death Star Lego, and then that one, and then have room and time, and I would just have them hanging like from the ceiling.
Well, there's that. Have you seen the Super Star Destroyer they also did of the Legos?
No, I missed that one.
Oh my god, there's a Super Star Destroyer also, and there's this YouTube video that makes me want to cry when I see it. It is this guy showing off both the Death Star and the Super Star Destroyer, and he starts making it fly, and it's probably fake that he's joking around doing this, but he starts making it fly, and like he slips and throws the Super Star Destroyer into the Death Star, and you just see them both shatter. And I'm sitting there like, that's like 7,000 Lego pieces just everywhere now.
I hope it's the best Lego accident ever caught on film. I hope it's real and he had to cry and then put it all back together.
I don't think it's real, but I think it's real fun to watch. Let's put it that way. According to the article, the helicarrier is 2 feet long. The full set includes 2 Quinjets, various fighter jets, ground vehicles. You also get Hawkeye, Maria Hill, Captain America, Nick Fury, Black Widow, and generic SHIELD officer minifigures.
But no Coulson.
Coulson's dead.
Exactly.
No, they're probably waiting to do Coulson and something else. But seriously, I just thought this was badass, and I want it really badly. So, someone buy it for me.
The taxman's gonna send you a check, and you're gonna go out and buy it.
I can't justify buying a 3,000-piece Lego set. I don't know where I'd put it when it's done, and I don't know where I would build it so that if I didn't do it all in one stretch, my dog wouldn't destroy it while I'm gone.
Or they
Get rid of your dog and build it on your coffee table. It's priorities, Chris.
There's also the cat. The
Take
cat
it to work.
would,
Build
the
it
cat
up.
would also
Get rid of the cat,
destroy
too.
it.
Cats are dicks.
Cats are dicks.
Cats are dicks?
Cats
Dicks
are
are
demons
cats.
from hell.
But that's all. That was my news. It was too cool not to share is the fact that there's a 3,000-piece Lego helicarrier coming soon. And it actually looks pretty similar to what they did in the Marvel Lego superheroes.
What's up?
Virtual reality porn real.
So we got that going for us. So who wants to take news next? Anthony, you want to go?
I can do mine. It's pretty quick. Marvel is now jumping into the monthly nerd box contest with all the different ones coming out, trying to fight against Loot Crate. They have the Marvel Collector's Core, and the first one that they have coming out, they have the sneak peek, is a 6-inch Hulkbuster pop figure inside, which is just fucking awesome looking. I'll share the image here. But they're doing I think right now it's one box every 2 months. It's $25 for each box with a minimum of $50 value for what's inside. So the first one comes with the Hulk figure, a T-shirt, stylized vinyl, that's the collectible, and 2 premium accessories. And then they also have the option of, if you just want to throw away a ton of money, I think it's $150, you can join the Founders Program. And on that, you get a collectible 8-inch Founder statue every year on the anniversary of your membership, along with the boxes. So yeah,
is that,
Marvel's
is that
trying to dip
150
it
for
in.
the? Is that 150 for a month, or is that 150 for a year?
I think it's 150 up front, and then you still have to pay the $25.
Oh, fuck that.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pricey, but yeah, it's Marvel jumping in with everybody else. It's just the cool thing is they were smart enough that theirs is actually marked as it's the Marvel Collector's Core powered by Funko. So I'm pretty sure you're guaranteed to get a Funko Pop figure every single box.
When is this box a month trend going to go away? I mean, it was cool to begin with, but now everyone's doing it. You get a few
as soon
cool
as those
things.
companies stop making money.
Man, I don't know. I thought about doing it at one point. There's some really cool stuff, but then there's a bunch of stuff that I would never use that comes in that, and I feel like I'm just buying junk to buy junk in some cases. Am I wrong?
So that's more expensive than Nerd Block and Loot Crate, then, isn't it?
Well, it's $25 a month, but they're doing it every 2 months, so it's not a monthly thing like Loot Crate yet. Because right now they're set up for June, August, and October are the upcoming boxes. So theirs is going to only be 6 boxes a year. So in the long run, it would actually be cheaper. Just the Founders program is more expensive.
I don't know. Like, I see these crates, like Loot Crate and Nerd Block and whatever, and there's like people, and yeah, it's pretty much the same feeling that Chris has, where there's like one cool thing and then a bunch of crappy things, and it's like
it's literally for people with disposable income. If you've got an extra $25 a month to just throw away on something that might be cool, you get a package in the mail every month. People love getting shit in the mail. It's like Christmas every month.
I want the Japanese candy one if I was going to choose one. The Japanese candy one has me excited. I love me some Japanese candy.
If I could afford it, I would get this Marvel one just because I know that with it being powered by Funko, with their little stamp on it, getting a Funko Pop figure every 2 months that I'm pretty sure are going to be exclusive only to the Marvel boxes would be pretty cool. Just to see what they're going to give you.
Wing has a point that I tend to agree with. He goes, I prefer buying stuff I really want. If not, I feel I'm paying for dust collectors. And that's what I think a lot of the stuff in here is you get a couple cool things and then a lot of dust collectors.
Well, yeah. That's how they get them cheap and then sell them to you for less than what it costs them. So they make a profit.
Yeah, I mean, they did some
business
cool
works,
stuff.
Chris.
Sorry?
That's how business works, Chris.
Yeah, good point. Maybe I'm just more grown up. I don't need as much stupid stuff. Granted, you can see my desk that's covered in action figures and Funko Pops and stupid stuff.
And you have a Spider-Man hanging from your microphone.
Yeah, I do, and I also have one right here.
I have room for more stupid stuff. I just can't afford one of these box subscriptions yet.
Well, you got.
But when I can, I'll probably get one for a year or so.
Well, I like how they're doing some of the stuff. They're having some exclusive comics in there because I know there was a Star Wars #1 in the last Loot Crate, and a while back they did the latest Batman had a variant for Loot Crate. That was kind of cool, but I don't care much.
Now, when they pick a comic, they're bumping up sales figures on those comics that they put in their boxes. It adds, sometimes upwards of like 50,000 issues being sold if it goes into every Loot Crate box. Like, that's ridiculous. There's books out there that don't sell 50,000 issus total.
50,000 was a drop in the bucket for Star Wars #1 that was printing with over 1 million copies.
That was also Star Wars #1.
That's the point. Yeah, someone was asking me. I can't remember. I think when I was playing X-Wing, like, oh, is this Star Wars #1 going to be collectible? I'm like, no. You can read it, have fun with it, but there's over 1 million first editions out. No, it's not collectible at all.
Any of the comics that you're purchasing right now, and probably 80s, 90s comics. Yeah, actually, I know 80s, 90s comics, and probably most of the 2000s comics. They're basically worth a nickel if you're lucky.
Yeah. Well, variants
might be collectible is an unknown series that starts an image that 6 months later becomes the hottest thing in the world.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, East, West, Saga. Books like that where they come out of nowhere, have no fanfare, and then 6 months later the world realizes they're the coolest fucking thing ever.
Well, and
those are the only books that are worth
There's
buying.
some artificial scarcity built into that too, because they generally short the number of #1s they print to build up that buzz. So you have a temporary bump for the first 6 months anyways, because it was like, oh my god, another image #1 that I can't find because we short printed
I'm
it.
not sure it's so much them shorting it. It's literally just Image saying, hey, we're only going to print 10,000 copies of this book because we don't know if it's going to do any good or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do reprints and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Image actually
then they
has
turn
this
around
really
and do the dollar first issues again, so you can still
Right.
read it if you want.
I'm a cynic here because anymore nowadays I read most of my comics digitally because it's easier and I don't have to have a bunch of stuff stack up.
Oh, I still have the whole image bundle to download. That's gonna take a day.
I still buy some. I buy stuff from my local shop, and I generally then redeem the digital code, and then read them on my iPad. And then every 8 months to a year, I take a bunch of comics to Goodwill or whatever for them to give to kids.
Yeah, hospitals always accept
Nice.
comics. Although I would be wary when you do some of the not Marvel comics. Marvel comics are generally safe for children, with the exception of like their like Kick-Ass and like the few that they have the mark on there where it says mature content. A lot of, at least the hospitals around here, they won't take anything that has like mature content in it.
I mean, it's fine. It doesn't matter to me. I just don't need them
Super
anymore because
dinosaur for everybody.
if I've got them digitally
Super
already,
dinosaur.
that's great. And anymore nowadays, holding on to a bunch of comics that are, current day comics, they're not going to be worth anything. So they're just dust collectors. And maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I'd rather someone else get to read them and enjoy them because I remember being a kid.
Comics.
Yeah, I remember being a kid reading comics, and I would reread them so many times they would start to fall apart because I loved them so much. So if I can pass that on to someone and still be able to reread whenever I want because I just whip out my iPad, who cares? Maybe I have the wrong viewpoint on things. Maybe I'm part of the reason brick and mortar stores are dying. I don't know.
You are.
I'm not getting rid of my comics yet.
No, I mean,
old.
different strokes for different folks. I completely understand that too. I'm not getting rid of a bunch of the stuff that I grew up with that I love, but a lot of my modern day stuff, I just don't care as much. And maybe it's because I'm on a comic downswing right now, where there's a bunch of stuff I don't care about out. It could be anything. What do I know?
Nothing.
You're an
Not
old
much.
man.
Ouch.
I'm still the youngest here. I win.
No, you're not the youngest here. That's
Yeah.
I was
incorrect.
gonna say, yeah.
Well, okay.
There's a
You
show
babies
baby
don't
now.
count.
We have a show baby. See? Show baby.
I'm Adahy.
When do you get the show baby their first knife to learn to cut people?
She already has it.
Okay, I figured.
Tiny knife.
We gave it to her at birth.
I figured you might have sprung for the Wolverine package and had knives implanted that pop out of her hands or
I
something.
talked to the doctor about that. He said no.
Ew.
Bastard.
I know. Bullshit.
Let's see. So
One day.
I think that was going to wrap us up for the news week. We brought you on really last minute. Did you have anything you wanted to talk about as a big news piece other than Mini Adahy?
I could. There's a dude who played Super Mario World with his nose and a recorder. Did you hear about that?
No.
What?
How the hell is
Let
this?
me. Yeah, see if I remember how to screen share here real quick. Do.
It's like the recorder's up his nose. And he
Yeah,
plays the
here.
song?
Okay, if you can see my screen here,
Yeah, I've got it.
yeah, he has the recorder in his nose, and he's playing Super Mario World using pitches and sounds. There you go. That's what a brave new world we live in.
I guess technically that's a talent. Holy shit.
Wow.
Some people just have too much free time.
Some people just want to be internet famous a little too bad, I think.
That's true.
That
You're
is something.
Jealous because you have no talent, Chris.
Well, that's why I host a podcast, is to make
That's
up
why
for
you
lack
listen
of
to
talent.
it.
You use the
Yeah, but
non-talented
you-
person with no charisma to try and keep things moving along, and you surround yourself with charismatic people that will bring the fun. I'm just a glorified road conductor, or railroad conductor. I thought you guys had realized this by now.
I
We
like
did.
it.
We were just trying to be nice and not completely crush you, but okay.
Nice. What the hell is wrong with you? I can't even begin. I don't understand.
I'm gonna start sticking things up my nose and see how internet famous I can get.
Well, you'd have to turn your camera on to do that.
Oh wait, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, Pixar didn't happen, Nagi. That's the rule.
The picture
Oh.
didn't happen.
My plan has been foiled.
Quite easily.
So
I know.
I think that wraps up news of the week. I did have a few extra news stories we can touch on before the show wraps, because we still got about 10 minutes before we need to start wrapping things up. In the news, it's kind of obvious, but I'm kind of sad to see confirmation, is Joss Whedon's said he's pretty much doubtful he's going to direct Avengers Infinity War. He said, quote, "I couldn't imagine doing this again. It's enormously hard, and it'd be by then a good 5 years since I created anything completely my own. So it's very doubtful I would take on the 2-part Infinity War movie that would eat up the next 4 years of my life." And I'm sad, but at the same time,
directing that's going to be a huge undertaking.
Oh yeah,
Peter Jackson.
I'll do it.
I don't want to see the Avengers walking for 8 hours.
yeah.
Who the fuck wants to watch that?
They're gonna buy Swamp Thing rights so they can have a walking tree.
Man Thing.
There you go. No man, yeah. It's news we kind of knew was coming because everyone's like, man, he's put a lot of time in this, and he did follow up later, and I don't have the direct quote, but he didn't say he was done. He still wants to be involved in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so he'll probably continue in his role as the quote-unquote godfather of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He just won't be directing pictures.
So he's going to make people offers? I mean, I'm up for an offer. I mean,
yeah, me too.
I think it'd be cool to see Joss Whedon becomes like the director of all the shorts that they put on the Blu-rays and the DVDs.
There's that, and he'll probably still be one of the guys that helps coordinate everything, because if you think about it, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., pardon the slip up there, was pretty much one of his ideas, and it's his production crew and a bunch of Whedonites that are doing that show right now.
And I see him being involved in like script rewrites and stuff too. Because even if he's not directing, this is still the guy that in 1 year wrote Toy Story 3, Cabin in the Woods, and Avengers. Like, the dude can write his ass off.
Guys, this just clears it up so that Joss Whedon can do Star Wars 8.
J.J. Abrams can do Avengers Infinity War.
No.
Imagine the lens flares off the Infinity Gauntlet.
No.
We're going to need someone to go and murder Anthony Bachman. Because remember, when we say stupid things on this show, it tends to happen.
I know!
That's what he's banking on.
Indeed, I remind people of Pain and Gain.
That is
That reminds me that The Rock is Black Adam. Thank you very much.
Now I'm sad because Anthony's just made it so that J.J. Abrams is going to do Infinity War.
That's going to be a shiny-ass Infinity Gauntlet, I'm telling you, man.
I'm available. I'm way cheaper than J.J. Abrams. Come on.
The Stargate Pioneer brings up a good point. He goes, Kevin Feige's actually the godfather of the MCU. Okay, yes, but Joss Whedon is also, because let's be honest, most of this wouldn't be happening without Whedon nowadays.
Feige's in charge, but Whedon's the one pushing the new ideas. Feige's just making sure that all the new ideas fit in the Marvel Universe.
Right, and the current rumor for who's going to helm Infinity War, we talked about it probably 3 months ago when it came out. The rumor still is that Joe and Anthony Russo, who did Winter Soldier and are doing Cap Civil War, will continue to then do Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
That could be cool.
I'm okay with that. Winter Soldier was pretty awesome.
Winter Soldier's badass, man. That was a great flick.
They know how to work with fight choreographers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We get a wicked fight sequence when the Avengers actually go hand-to-hand with Thanos. That could be very cool.
Why is Thanos going to go hand-to-hand? He'll just put him down. He's got.
Eventually they're going to make him get his lazy ass out of that chair and fight.
He's just going to take his hand and just smash him.
His ass, very similar to Chris's ass, has become physically attached to that chair. It's impossible.
Aww.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's only one ass cheek that's permanently attached, alright? Get it right.
Chris is the good one who goes to the gym.
I do. I just stopped checking in all the time because it was annoying.
It was.
Tell us how you really feel, Adahy. Tell us how you really feel.
It was annoying for me to remember to do it, too. Was most of the reason that happened. I was like, man, fuck this. I keep forgetting.
See, I just figured you already give up.
I'm doing a 10K obstacle race in May if you want to come join me, Chris.
Do it.
Maybe.
Do it. Obstacle courses are fun.
I don't want to die.
I can't guarantee I won't help that happen, but
yeah, that's why I'm kind of hesitant here, because we do know how much Adahy loves his knives and threatening to cut people. So if you put me in physical proximity to him again with a knife, I'm liable to get cut.
Or
in the middle of an obstacle course where no one will notice that you got cut.
Exactly.
Or he'll just throw you.
Out.
He could just throw you in the mud pit and then stand on you, but that would fuck up his time.
That's a good point.
I don't do it for time. I'm not nearly that fast.
Not yet. Not yet. So let's see. What do I have? I have a couple other stories here we can touch on real quick. Do you want Superman or do you want Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice.
No one gives a fuck
Neither.
about
They're both
Superman.
non-stories.
So Beetlejuice news I was seeing is that Seth Grahame-Smith, who did Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, is doing the screenplay for Beetlejuice 2. His plan is to have it set in the present day, and he wants to bring Michael Keaton back to be Beetlejuice again.
That's the correct answer.
That's
Yeah.
not
What else could be
plan.
Beetlejuice?
That's the only possible way they can do the movie.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
They just have to watch her on set so she's not stealing stuff.
Well, what else has she been doing these days?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at
Stealing
all.
stuff.
And for those that were curious, it's Tim Burton that picked Seth Grahame-Smith to write the reboot. Well, not reboot, the sequel. So Burton has kind of got his fingers in it. He's the godfather of the Beetlejuice world. I don't know.
That's a terrible thing. I've been so disillusioned to Tim Burton, so I'm just kind of like, yeah.
Apparently, so hasn't Helena Bonham Carter.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Yeah, that's true. Does
Did
that
he
mean we're not going to get...
this year deeper?
Watch, Johnny Depp is going to run away with her now.
He just got married, didn't he?
I think
don't
so, or something like that. I saw him and some chick on Facebook when I was scrolling through earlier.
Yeah,
this week.
that's about all I remember on that. But I'm pretty sure he just got married.
And JT's having a kid.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the picture of Beale's belly.
Okay. I'm not sure if Stargate Pioneer is trying to troll us or not, but I look in the chat room. He goes, Adam Sandler could be Beetlejuice.
No,
And
Star Pie. No. Shut up, Star Pie.
Yeah,
No.
I agree with Naki. Absolutely no.
I'm sad to see this one.
If it's
Adam
not
Sandler
Michael
should be
Keaton, it's
nothing.
not Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I don't understand how Adam Sandler still has a career. Current day Adam Sandler flicks are garbage. It's not funny.
College
stuff like-
frat boy douchebags love Adam Sandler films.
Side
They should
note,
cast him as Batman.
Bro movie, bro.
boyfriend tried to put on one of his latest movies to put us to sleep to. I think it was called Blended, with him and Drew Barrymore. I couldn't fall asleep to it because it was so bad.
You started hate watching it, didn't you?
I did.
This all ties back on the fact that Naki is a hater.
I'm sure DC will give him a role in something eventually because they like to do horrible casting and really stupid things.
Ooh, tell us how you really feel.
Sure.
Adam.
I have a lot of bones to pick with DC and their awful casting.
Well,
He
why don't we
can
toss it to
Tom
you?
Flag in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, well, instead of doing any more news stuff, since Adahy hasn't been here for, let me toss it to you and let you pick your bones over DC casting stuff, and then we'll wrap things up. This is going to be fun.
My biggest bone with the DC casting is literally, I'm sure you guys have already talked about this, and I might have missed it. They have these hugely popular television shows, and they're going to cast another dude to play Flash. What the fuck? That dude is awesome. I love that show, and it just makes no sense to me why they would waste that effort and that time to find someone else to do what this guy's already doing in such an amazing fashion. That's my biggest issue with DC at the moment.
That's because their cinematic and TV shows do not cross universes, which is one of their biggest problems.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. I completely agree to that too.
Well,
It's
in their goal to be different than Marvel, they're spiting themselves in this because the popularity of Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin and their respective shows could put asses in seats for movies.
Yes.
Let's be honest, guys. When they did the Arrow TV show, no one thought it was going to pick up and be any good because it's Green Arrow. Who gives a fuck?
Well, no, and it's Green Arrow on CW.
Yeah, and Arrow has widely outperformed what it was supposed to do. Same with Flash. Now you've got the fact they want to do these movies, and people are going to go and see a Justice League movie or whatever. They'll have Green Arrow in, or a Flash movie because they're expecting to see Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell, and they're going to go in and they're going to be like, what the fuck? And I think
It's going to backfire.
I think it
horribly.
could backfire on them, and people are going to watch these shows. They're devoted to these shows, and the number of people watching these shows is not at all comparable to what you want in movie theater seats. Let's put it that way. You're going to want more people to go to the movies because you make more money off of that.
But if they do it right, what they could do is the movies could be their introduction to the shows then, and get more viewers that way, thus creating this bubble for DC fan base. And I was kind of disappointed in how sad, like how much I've gone back from liking DC. I used to love DC. DC used to be the only thing I would pick up, and now I pick up zero DC. I have nothing in my box that's from DC.
I just have Batman right now.
Yeah, I'm down to Batman, and that's only because, well, I love Scott Snyder, but it's mainly Greg Capullo. If there was no writing, I would still get that book just to look at the pretty pictures.
Yeah, and if you guys get a chance, go read the latest issue of Endgame. We'll talk about it next week because they absolutely changed the Joker's origin, and I'm really curious what you guys think about it.
But I mean,
For those that don't want to read it, I will put the link in the chat so you can see what it is, and we can talk about it next week.
but the thing is that they're shooting themselves in the foot because they, like you said, if people want to see Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell, they want to see these people on screen. And so, yes, people who don't know the shows won't necessarily understand that, but it could be their stepping stone to get into the show, to go watch it on Netflix or Hulu or whatever you watch it on. And, you know, you could build up an audience on two fronts if they were smart.
Yeah, like Marvel is.
They're just not smart. It's Warner Brothers. I mean,
Yep.
Well,
That's
I
the
think-
problem. Yeah, Kevin Feige is in charge of basically everything at Marvel Studios. So you have one person that makes basically all the decisions. At DC, you have all the Time Warner executives involved. That's far too many people making decisions on this TV show that's over here on this network, this TV show that's over here on this network, this TV show that's over here on this network, and then all your movie franchises.
Which
Well,
again,
You have two different people making different decisions.
let me play devil's advocate for a second. Whereas the fact that Marvel's TV shows are doing right now, they're creating those after they've generated their cinematic universe. They can tie those things together. DC's plan to do a cinematic universe happened after Arrow had started and after Flash was greenlit. So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Is do we bring in these TV properties, and it's tough to sell your executives on the fact that we're taking Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin, who are great on TV, and putting them on a big screen film, which they're not box office draw, let's be honest. And I'm not saying that disparagingly. They've kind of put themselves in a corner where they can't easily connect things.
Because Ezra Miller is going to fucking put asses in seats.
I don't even know who the fuck Ezra Miller is. I'll be honest.
He's the one that they've been cast as the Flash. Nobody knows who the fuck he is. He's done like one TV show. He's a goofy looking fuck, and he's not Grant Gustin. So I don't know how the hell he's going to put asses in seats when a guy that's kicking ass as the Flash wouldn't.
Yeah, that decision is going to be one that hurts them the most because I think the Flash has been much better than anyone anticipated. In the fact that it's beating Arrow in the ratings right now in season 1, I think has surprised a lot of people. And I think people they wanted a happier superhero show, and they've got that with Flash. It's still a good story, but it's not as depressing as Arrow can be at times.
Or Constantine.
Well, to be fair, I have only watched one episode of Constantine still.
Yeah. I've only watched one episode of Constantine as well. It's just...
It picked up. Okay, so
I'm caught up. It's good. It's a fun show.
I haven't watched this week's episode, but Constantine really picks up around episode 4. Like the first 3 episodes, like we're kind of like, okay, this could go either way. Episode 4 is when the storyline really hits and it starts to actually get into it. Like with Arrow, it took me 11 episodes before I liked it. So
that's why I've got it on my DVR. I'll eventually watch it. I just don't know when.
It took me till Felicity was introduced to like Arrow.
I think there's a lot of people that were like that. Oh, Felicity.
Yeah.
Goth Felicity from the past was pretty hot too.
I hate Colton Haynes. I fucking hate Colton Haynes.
Why?
He's actually dating Emily Blatt. And I fucking hate supermodel ass.
Because he's tapping it?
Yup. Bastard. Fucking Arsenal.
No. They don't know. They don't call him Arsenal. He's still Red Arrow on TV.
I thought at one point they called him Arsenal already.
His code name is Arsenal, but if you caught it in last week's episode, they caught them on TV. They said, it appears it's Red Arrow and some woman in black or something like that.
Nice.
Since we were beating up on DC so bad, Wing did bring up a good point of a book that he thought was pretty good. He says, Grayson is so fracking awesome. I read the first 2 issues, and then I kind of tapered off. I tend to agree with Anthony, who said in the chat room, I want Nightwing, not some silly super spy.
Tim Seeley, the writer, is great, and in one issue he did prove that he understands Nightwing probably better than most writers when he had him fight the Midnighter. And just with one line, because Midnighter has the ability to look at anybody and figure out how a fight's going to end, and Dick Grayson was still able to actually kind of go toe-to-toe with him. When Midnighter looked at him, he said, you actually fight like jazz. Like the kid interprets and does things that nobody else could think of, even the Midnighter. So in that, Tim Seeley is writing a good book. but it's Dick Grayson who's been made a super spy. He's not fucking Nightwing anymore. And
All right then.
yeah, that's my last word. Fucking
So
Dan.
I was going to move off
I
this
want to
topic.
kill off Nightwing. Yeah.
I was going to move off this topic real quick, but Jedi Ross put a good comment in there, so we'll touch on that, and then we'll wrap things up because I know we're running short on time. He goes, in regards to our DC versus Marvel thing, he goes, they may not want to paint themselves into a corner like Marvel. DC fans have grown tired of the Marvel formula. Guardians of the Galaxy was great, but I have no excitement for what's left. The more Flashes and Batman, the better.
I'm tired of Batman.
You can
I'm
only ride the
horribly
Batman
tired of
train for so
Batman.
long.
I want to see some director have the balls to bring back a fun Batman. That's what I
Adam
want to see.
Sandler as Batman.
As
God.
Batman.
God damn it.
No. Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb.
I've got my Bat Bomb repellent.
Shock repellent, I keep it with me all the time. And I live in the Midwest.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see where people might be tired of the Marvel formula, but at the same time, okay, full disclosure, I'm more of a Marvel fan than a DC fan. I like the fact that everything builds together and you see pieces of how everything's going to come together, and I think it's really ambitious. And I think DC has seen the same thing by them saying, we're going to do our own cinematic universe that's all tied together. So, that's the way of the future.
Yeah, but DC's half-assing it because they're not involving their TV shows.
At least Marvel.
They have trouble with their 5 TV shows on 5 different networks.
Well, guys,
It'd be a
let's
pain in the
remember.
ass to try to involve them all.
Let's remember, we were shitting all over the idea of the tied together TV show and movies for the first half of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. until they made it all come together.
I still
wasn't.
get bothered by that. I still do.
I wasn't here for that because I thought that was awesome.
I did, but the vast majority of people were shitting all
Don't
over
forget,
it.
I was the only person that liked something. No
I
shot.
still
No.
get bothered by that.
I said
really
the
do.
payoff was. I figured the payoff was coming, and I was waiting to see what was going to happen. But I was getting a little bored with things.
Yeah, and the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Captain America Winter Soldier, and then what happened the next day or the following week on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was fucking amazing.
Still
Yeah.
haven't seen any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. other than the first episode that I fell asleep in. So, I mean, I still have that, yeah, I'm still not watching it, and it's not out of hate for that or anything like that, it's just, I don't have time, but I still don't, like, not that I think that DC should be merging, but I think that they should have done their casting better. I think that or at least looked at their numbers better. I think with having a separate TV and movie universe isn't a bad thing, but they still shot themselves in the foot there. But, anyways, that's a whole long rant that is convoluted and probably better written out.
Right. So I'll take us off this on Jedi Ross's final thought he had in that in the chat room. He goes, excuse me, I like that different visions can exist at the same time, and that's what DC's doing with their difference between the TV and the cinematic universe, and that's fun too. It's different, and I think from my perspective, when you've got guys that are just nailing the roles like Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin, why wouldn't you want to use them?
Exactly.
But don't forget, all right, I'll say one last thing, then I'll move us off this topic. Back in 2006, when Superman Returns came out, everyone said the exact same thing, like, why aren't you using Tom Welling as Superman? He's been doing it on TV forever.
No, I never
Consider.
said that because the
I
whole
never
point of
said it.
Smallville was that he would never be Superman.
There were a lot of people saying it. I did not want him as Superman on the big screen myself, but that was
I think
a
he
lot
could
of
have
stuff
done
that's
it, though.
I think so, too.
He couldn't have done as good of a job as Brandon Routh, though.
It was just a thought to consider. But looking at the time, it's time for us to wrap up. Our normal way of doing that is we're just going to share with you, our listening audience, what we've been getting into, what we are getting into in the time ahead. I'll toss to Naki, because why not?
Because why not? I got stuck playing Trivia Crack.
Yeah, me too.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So I got sucked into playing Trivia Crack. My friend Crystal and I have been having a harsh head-to-head battle, stealing each other's guys, and the one thing that both of us suck at is sports on there, because neither of us, like, I'm a hockey fan and a little bit of a football fan. Like, my football fanness has decreased since Jay Cutler, so you got that
Because he's a
going
big
for us.
bitch.
He's terrible, God.
Dumpers.
God, he's just awful. So I've got that going for me. I'm in school, so that pretty much takes over my life. What?
Nothing.
Although my sister and I have decided we're going to start the Borderlands series from the beginning, and do a replay. But since
That's
both
a
of
lot
us
of time.
both of us are of the busy schedule because she works a lot. Because she's a manager over at Dave & Buster's, and so it's one of those like when both of us are home, we'll do it type thing. But it'll just be fun because now we both have big fancy TVs and we can actually see what's happening. So it'll just be fun. That's what I got.
All right. How about yourself, Anthony? What have you been getting into?
Getting caught up on all my geek shows, so I stayed caught up this week, so that was fun. Try to do a screen share here. I got Will Blankenship, the artist on Double Jumpers, was nice enough to share a page of his pencils with me, so I could try to teach myself how to start doing. Book. Oh, Double Jumpers was great, but I had never actually loaded Manga Studio 5, which I bought into my computer, and now that I've loaded it, I'm trying to teach myself how to ink. So he lent me a page of his pencils, and I started inking it, so you can see that there. Funky little demon dude and some dude all scared. But yeah, that was fun. I was working on that all yesterday while I was watching the UFC fights. UFC fights last night were awesome. Spider Silva came back, put on kind of a good performance against Nick Diaz. And then actually I've been trying to do, if I'm not drawing every day, I'm drawing almost every day, and I've been starting to do lunch sketches at work. I'm not sure if this one will show up, though, because it's very light.
There we go. We're getting a little bit. Spider-Gwen?
Yeah, little Spider-Gwen. That was fun at work, sitting there, had the dual monitors at work, and had a pose from Spider-Man on one screen, Spider-Gwen costume reference on the other screen, and sit there at my desk doing a drawing of Spider-Gwen. That's where, the state tax money goes to pay my salary so I can sit at work and do doodles. That's but get back into drawing every day now, so get to the point where I can start drawing all the stuff I want to draw and start getting some books done and put out. So that's it.
Let's see. I'll go next. I have not been doing a ton of stuff. The girlfriend's playing through Mass Effect 2 again, but she's doing a Renegade run, so I've kind of watched bits and pieces of that when I've been in the living room. And I've been reading some comics, and God, I haven't really done much else, just podcasting. Podcasting, comics, and work. That's kind of depressing.
It's not bad. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, work is essential to then pay said bills and continue to enjoy other hobbies. But that's
you do the ones, you can do the other 2.
So, how about yourself, Adahy? Other than having a kid, what have you been up to?
I run a lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a kid. I run. I'm training. Like I said, I have the 10K. Also have a 25 and a 50K next year that I'll be doing. Yeah, that's the extent of pretty much what I do. I run. I work out, and I'm now raising a child, which is slightly scary. Child part's easy. I just fear for the rest of the world, knowing that my offspring will be out there for another 80 years.
Cutting people.
That's right. Had to carry on the legacy of cutting.
Are you still gaming?
Not as much as I used to. I did pick up Munchkin recently.
Munchkin's so fun.
Nice.
But
which actually has a comic out right now, and I guess in each issue they have a card.
That's really cool. I played a little bit of Path of Exile. That's pretty much as far as I go anymore.
It's not bad, though. I'm just scared there's going to be future Adahy's cutting people now.
Everywhere. Everywhere. The influx is coming.
So I guess we should start wrapping things up. But before we do that, thanks for joining us, Adahy. We hadn't seen you in forever. It's kind of fun to have you back once in a while.
I do what I can.
We'll have to do it again sometime. Make sure all the new listeners remember the old days.
Of cutting.
Cutting. And random threats of violence.
And stupid games.
And stupid games. Yeah, we haven't done any stupid games in forever. Maybe I'll bring one back just for shits and giggles.
Nostalgia Week.
Nostalgia Week would imply we're doing more than one episode in a week, and that scares me.
That is terrifying.
We can still call it
so much
Nostalgia
free
Week
time
and
for
just do
podcasting.
one episode.
Yeah.
All
right.
right.
Well,
You have other podcasts to do, Chris. It's
no,
your-
not at all. I could take a week off. Steven wants to get... here's the funny thing, and then I'll start wrapping stuff. Steven's podcast, the Gonna Eat podcast, I've done more of them than he has.
Nice.
Nice.
I have a 2-episode lead on him, so he wants me to miss some episodes so he can get caught back up. So maybe that's just a good reason to do so. But I think that is going to wrap us up for this week. A big thank you to our special guest / former host, the Adahy, for joining us. Thank you, sir. And
The finger salute.
I figured that's what I was getting. Don't forget, we stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com. And if you missed the show, find us at atgnpodcast.com or GonnaGeekNetwork.com. You can find us there. In addition to all the other great shows on the Gonna Geek Network, I accidentally dropped some, like, say, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Starling Tribune during this episode. So go check out the other great shows on the network. We'll keep you entertained. And you don't even have to listen to my voice on some of them, so that's even better.
Just a lot better.
It's true. Chris actually is in like every single show.
I'm going to ask them to use my intro for the network on every network show one week just to screw with you all.
It's going to happen. Chris Apocalypse is happening.
The Chrismageddon. I don't know. But before we close down the stream, anyone have any last thoughts?
I'm hungry and I want bacon.
That's
Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
Bacon's
Nobody
a good
cares
reason to
about the
get out of
Super
here.
Bowls.
Well, on that note, we're getting out of here, so Naki can have some bacon and not cut me for letting her not get bacon.
Bacon.
She'll cut you anyway.
Yeah, she probably will. So don't forget, we'll see you guys next week live at 11 a.m. Eastern at live.atgnpodcast.com. But until then, you guys have fun getting your geek on, being nerds or whatever. Bye, guys.
Bye.